And we'll see if they can put a scare into these fans as they may take an early lead. We'll see as they hand off up the middle, and it looks like the ball went down on the ground again. It must be cold hands or something. We'll see what happens. It looks like they're going to down by contact there as the ball carrier was down. So ball was on the ground, but whistle is blown, and it'll be second now and goal at about the 7-yard line. South Summit bringing in some additional big linemen, goal line stand here as they go about 5-6 deep across that line and stacking it right up to the line of scrimmage, seeing if they can prevent a touchdown here as they pitch left, trying to find some room, and no room there as South Summit pursuit all over the ball carrier. He's unable to pick up any yards, and he gets the ball to about the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up third and goal. Caden Christensen, Daxton Hansen, and number 2 for South Summit, Stephen Flinders checking in for South Summit now. Might be a little more of a pass situation, so South Summit trying to adjust based on the situation and bring some secondary guys in to possibly help on a pass play. Big third down play for Layton Cristian. 1 minute even left in this first quarter. He brings out 3 receivers to the right, has a back to his left in the shotgun. Jackson trying to get Layton Cristian on the board, and he throws, and the ball falls incomplete. And it's going to bring up fourth down for Layton Cristian, unable to convert or even move the ball on a first and goal at the 5. It's now fourth and goal at the 5. And we'll see if they have much of a kicking game other than the punter has done very well. Looks like they're going to put a tee down to see if they can get a field goal and take an early 3-0 lead. He's over towards the left hash, and it will be about a 25-yard field goal. Ball is down, kick is up, and it's a nice kick, and it's good. Layton Cristian gets on the board first in this Region 2A North matchup between two 3-0 teams, and Layton Cristian scores first. 3-0 lead, 48.6 seconds left. Layton Cristian man down. We'll take a break as Layton Cristian strikes first and lead 3-0. All right, as we're taking a break, we saw that there was a flag on the field, and the reason there was a man down is the kicker got hit pretty hard on the field goal attempt, and so it ended up being a personal foul. Big penalty, automatic first down, half the distance, and Layton Cristian's going to try now to get into the end zone, a cutback, and he's trying to get close, but he having a hard time there. He's going to pick up maybe a half a yard. And that should be the last play of this first quarter as Layton Cristian getting all kinds of opportunities by this South Summit group. As in essence, that amounts to basically a turnover as they gave, well, it was a 3-point, and they've taken 3 points off the board. But that'll be the last play of this first quarter. Layton Cristian in good spot, second and about 4, deep into South Summit territory. We'll see if South Summit can come up with a big stop again. We'll come back after the first quarter. We'll switch ends of the field. No score after 1, and Layton Cristian threatening. Beginning of the second quarter, no score after one. And Layton Cristian, second and goal, ball at about the 3-yard line, having a tough time getting any kind of yardage inside this 5-yard line. And a real stacked formation. Jackson now is going to hand off, trying to find a seam, driven back. 4 defenders for South Summit. Right there, and no opportunity for Layton Cristian on the running side of this opportunity, as they'll lose another yard again, and it'll bring up 3rd and goal. So in retrospect here, they may want to start thinking about whether they should have taken 3 points off the board, as now it's 3rd and goal, and this South Summit D is proving tough again in this goal line situation, and they're going to regret if they can't bump it in here for a touchdown, having to try to kick another field goal, especially where that ball is right now, clear on the far side of the field, right on the right hash, and as close it is to the goal line. That's a pretty tough angle for a kicker, so at a minimum they need to move the ball left to the middle of this field where they can have a little bit better angle. We'll see if they toss left, and here's going to roll left. He's got a little room. He'll decide whether he's got a chance to run it in. He's hit right at the line of scrimmage. Nice hit there by number 22, Freestone on the play, as well as number 21 for South Summit. Quinn Zimmerman on the play there as well, as he got real close to the goal line, and it's probably down to about the 1.5 yard line. So a 4th down situation. They go from 1 hash mark on the right all the way to the left hash mark. So once again, the kicker in for Layton Cristian is number 88, Bailey Kenter, it looks like, and the kick is down, and it's up, and he gets it again. A lot of pressure on that kicker. Good kick. So after a roughing the kicker and 4 more plays, we're right back where we were about 2-3 minutes ago with a Layton Cristian 3, South Summit 0 score. So 10:23 left in this quarter, and South Summit now trailing in the second quarter, which has happened a few times throughout this season. Trailed a little bit against Morgan, but since then had big leads continually, and so this might be a good test for South Summit. See how they respond, where they're not up 25-30 after a few minutes into this ball game, and so good opportunity for these Wildcats. See if they can't regroup offensively and put a drive together. They'll get a chance now to return a kick, and back will be Tillett and Gines for South Summit, with number 27. Luke Sidaway, as well as number 8, Matt Lee, will be the 2 up backs now, as another man across the field, number 25, Harley Georgie as well. So 2 deep backs, 3 in a line there, so some chances here for South Summit to return the ball. They're standing at the 10, and Layton Cristian will kick off for the first time in the ball game. 3-0 lead. 10:23 left in the second quarter, and he runs hard up to the line, putting a little fake on possibly, setting up some options later in the ball game if needed. They'll sit back now and line up in a traditional kickoff formation. And now number 88, Kenter, will kick off as Layton Cristian boots the ball deep. Nice kick. It drives back. Keaton Gines, he's trying to find a seam. Good wheels there by Gines. Good return by Keaton Gines as he's all the way across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Great speed by the senior returner, and he's met there by a nice tackle from Layton Cristian. But good field position for South Summit. Ball at the 37-yard line. South Summit has had 5 offensive plays in that first quarter, 3 of them resulting in turnovers. So got to straighten this fumbling problem out, and let's do it quickly here as Jones hands off to Averett up the middle, and that ball is on the ground again. Fortunately, it looks like South Summit gets on top of it. Whew. Nice little 7-8 yard run by Averett, but once again fumbles the ball. This time Green guy gets on top of it. Ball's at the 45-yard line. He picks up about 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. Not sure what's going on here with these fumbles. South Summit hands are cold, or not sure, but got to get it straightened out as Jones now will keep, and he's got some room off the left. He's got a pitch man if he needs it. He's going to turn into a blocker. Now Jones up the left-hand side of the field. Good running room as Jones is all the way across into Layton Cristian territory, out across the 30, Summit down to the 25. It'll be 1st and 10. Jones using good speed and had great blocking as several Wildcat offensive players out there getting some good blocks to get Jones all the way down. He's going to pick up about 30 yards on the play from the 45 down to the 25. So nice run by Jones. 9:26 left in the second quarter, and South Summit threatening to score again as now Jones will keep again. He's got good running room again. He's going to pick up the first down out to now about the 13-yard line. Consecutive first downs by the junior quarterback. And South Summit now looking a little better on a couple of plays as they're now getting close into the red zone with a chance to put some points of their own on the board as Santos and Thornton bring the play in for South Summit. Coming off the field will be number 1, and that is Ethan Miles. So Jones in motion, goes Tillett. And this time, Averett's got some running room, and he's in for the touchdown. Colby Averett. And just like that, 4 plays in an offensive series, South Summit puts together a drive, holds on to the ball, and South Summit, Averett goes in from about 12 yards. Touchdown, South Summit back out on front, 6-3. So South Summit has proven each time they've had the ball they can run, as they've gotten good chunks each series, but a turnover's prevented them each time from scoring. This time they hold on. Santos has the extra point. It's up and good. It's a 7-3 lead, 8:32 left in this first quarter, and South Summit will be kicking off with a lead for the first time, 7-3. All right, back to live action as Georgie kicks the ball deep, and once again we'll get a touchback. 8:52 left in this second quarter as Georgie gets a hold of a nice high end-over-end kickoff, and Layton Cristian will start on the offensive side again, this time at their own 20. South Summit with a 7-3 lead, and will be on the defensive end. A lot of possessions on both sides thus far, as each team has had a lot of chances to take advantage of some offensive opportunities, and both teams have struggled a little bit offensively, and we'll see which team can gather themselves and sustain some drives and continue to do well. South Summit has been proven here defensively that they're tough on this Layton Cristian run, and so Layton Cristian going to have to get creative on what they do offensively. Trips left, and this time there's going to be a timeout as Layton Cristian not liking what they are seeing on the offensive end. Coach will take a timeout, 8:52. We'll take one as well as there's a timeout on the field. South Summit leading 7-3. .8:52 left in the second quarter. South Summit leading 7-3. 1st and 10 for Layton Cristian at the 20-yard line. And Jackson now, one back behind him. 3 receivers to the right this time. He's going to pitch right. And this time a little room for the Layton Cristian running back, and a flag comes flying in deep. Number 5 for Layton Cristian, Jack Chandler, picks up good yardage. He has about a 10-yard pickup, but a bad spot for Layton Cristian as the flag comes in from behind him. That generally means somebody is either holding or clipping something downfield. And so Layton Cristian is moving their way back again. And it looks like offensive holding on Layton Cristian again. That's a spot foul. Looks like it was right about at the line of scrimmage, so they'll march it back 10 yards. It'll bring first and 20. Now the ball will be back towards the 10-yard line. And Layton Cristian in a deeper hole in their own territory now. So, first and 20. 8:44 and counting. So we're early into this second quarter. Kind of a strange game thus far. Still a close ball game, 7-3. Layton Cristian in the shotgun this time. Jackson's trying to go left. He's got a man, just overthrows Chandler. As Daxton Hansen was there underneath and Bracken Santos over top. Pretty decent coverage, but had a man there with a nice thrown ball. Would have gotten to him. It'll bring up now second and 20. Jordan McNair, Bracken Santos both doing well with the interceptions. I think Santos has 3 and McNair has 4. And so a lot of backs having a lot of success in this defensive secondary for South Summit. Zimmerman, Santos, Flinders, McNair now in the defensive secondary for South Summit. But South Summit kind of running a 43 defense with 2 deeper safeties. As Layton Cristian has thrown a little more. This time they'll run up the right-hand side, and he's going to pick up a couple yards. But with second 20, 2 to 3 yards, going to make it tough on third down as it'll bring up about third and 17. They move the ball out about 3 yards out to about the 13, 14-yard line. So a tough spot deep in their own territory for Layton Cristian. Makes it tough on the coaching staff as well to find a play that you want to try to get 17, but you also want to make sure you don't give the ball away again deep on your own end of the field. So tough spot for Layton Cristian as they've struggled a little bit offensively in these last few possessions, having very little success moving the ball, and when they do, they've had a couple of big penalties. Jackson now in the shotgun. He's looking left. He's going to go deep. Ball's hanging up there, and it's picked off. And it looks like Bracken Santos will get his 4th interception of the year. Santos now on the turnover. And that ball is going to be all the way out to the 45-yard line. So almost acts as a punt right there. So not a huge play for Layton Cristian in terms of disappointment there, as that would be about what a punt served. Play early, but they threw the ball up, taking a chance, and Santos comes down with it. Good hands there by Bracken Santos. Good coverage. He comes down with it. It'll be first and 10 South Summit. Ty Jones with Tillett going in motion. They hand off to Averett up the middle. Averett churning around. Good yards. He's across the 35. And that'll be about a 10-yard pickup. That should move the chains. Good yardage by Averett. He's well over 100 yards thus far in the ball game. He's got the only touchdown of the game. He's got to be around 120, 25, 130 yards of rushing already, as he got 91 of them early on the first play of the game. And now South Summit starting to get some rhythm offensively as they're getting big chunks running the ball. Wouldn't surprise me now if they start maybe trying to work on that offensive passing game as well, as they go to a counter to Tillett. Tillett's going to move the ball about a 3-yard pickup. It'll be to the 32-yard line. It'll bring up second and 7. South Summit starting to use a lot of offensive players, as Gines and Freestone, Averett, Tillett, Jones, Averett, all kinds of players getting involved on the offensive end for South Summit. And always up front, good offensive line by these Wildcats that will get their names out here shortly, but always do a good job. And this time Jones is going to keep, and he cuts it back. Gets hit right at the 25-yard line. Good job there by Layton Cristian on a nice tackle. And it's going to be just short of the first down, about the 26-yard line. He's going to pick up about 5 or 6, and it'll bring up third and short, a little less than a yard. And so Jones reading that defense well as he looked as he was trying to hand off to Averett. That hole was plugged up. He pulled it back out, came off the right-hand side, picked up about 6 yards as Jones did a nice job running that option. He'll have 3rd and short here. Tillett goes in motion. They hand off to Averett, and the ball's out on the ground. And a fumble by Averett. And once again, Layton Cristian taking advantage of a South Summit's 4th fumble of the ball game. And so Layton Cristian will take over on the turnover. And the frustration on the South Summit side starting to show itself here, as haven't seen that in a long time. 4 turnovers. There's an injured Layton Cristian player down. Give a chance for this South Summit team to regroup. We'll take a break. 6:05 left. South Summit still leading 7-3. First and 10, Layton Cristian. Ball at their own 22-yard line, taking advantage of the South Summit's 4th turnover, and this time Jackson, and he puts the ball on the ground. Woo, we'll see who comes out with it. There's a scramble. Looks like they hold up 2nd down, which means Layton Cristian gets on top of it. Something is happening with that ball down there. If it's cold, it's slick, something, because I haven't seen this many turnovers or this many fumbles in a really long time. And maybe it's something to do with this cold weather. Both teams struggling. 5:39 now. South Summit in a defensive situation. They could get some good field position again. It's 2nd and 7 for Layton Cristian. Ball's at the 23, 24-yard line. Jackson's rolling right. He's going to be drugged down, sacked by C.J. Doneno coming from that left tackle spot. C.J., crafty guy inside there, gets free and drags down Jackson for the sack. He's going to lose about 5-6 yards, more like 7-8 yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and about 17. Ball all the way inside the 20 now to the 14-yard line. So good stop there by Doneno as he wrapped up and spun Jackson down. It'll bring up 3rd and long, and Layton Cristian has been in several 3rd and longs in this ball game. And excluding that first drive, have been unable to convert on any since then. In 4:44 and counting, Layton Cristian taking a lot of time on this possession. And I don't know if they're waiting to take a timeout, and that's what they're doing. I apologize for having so many timeouts myself, but I'm sure you're getting tired of just listening to me over and over. So we'll give you a break. 4:34 left, and South Summit leading 7-3. .434 left, second quarter. South Summit leading 7-3. And Layton Cristian in a 3rd and long at their own 13, 14-yard line. Jackson's going to go on a little bit of a counter with a running play, and the ball is not going to get past the line of scrimmage. Good defense again by South Summit as Layton Cristian just has very little room to run the football. And once again, Layton Cristian will have to punt. And back again will be McNair and Keaton Gines for South Summit. And back to kick, doing all the kicking duties for Layton Cristian. Number 88, Bailey Kenter for the Layton Christian Eagles. Has a good leg. Has looked good kicking the field goal and has had some great punts. And another nice punt. He angles it very well. Fair catch called, unable to get on it. And Layton Christian, as the ball hits the ground, it takes a little bit of a South Summit bounce. It bounces forward about 3 yards. It's into Layton Christian territory. Ball will be at the 47-yard line. And South Summit, once again, offensively, will get another chance to put more points on this board. Last week, got a little ugly in terms of the score. What I mean by that, a good ugly, that it was 56-0 going into halftime last week. This week, it's 7-3. Obviously much tighter, and so like to score one more time in this half at least is Jones in the pistol, mini shotgun here, and movement up front. Flags are flying and whistles blowing as several South Summit linemen were in motion. Had to be a miscommunication on that snap count as several went, several didn't. And this will provide some good learning opportunities in the film session next week as South Summit looks over this game and says, whew, cannot play like this no matter how good we are. You've got to be disciplined and crisp, and they'll work these things out. So it might be good for have South Summit deal with a little adversity as they've had very little resistance since the Morgan game. And so might be showing here a little bit, so a little resistance might do us some good as we hand off again to Averett. And ball is on the ground again. And we'll see who they're gonna do with it here. And once again, South Summit turns the ball over again as Averett fumbles the ball again. 5th fumble of this first half. And Averett now, consecutive possessions, putting the ball on the ground. And I sound like a broken record here, but 5th turnover, 3:36. South Summit now gives the ball back to Layton Christian. Oh, well, that will allow South Summit to keep the ball. I didn't see that flag, so a huge break for South Summit as they had fumbled the ball. Layton Christian had returned it, but they had called a face mask penalty on the play, so South Summit will maintain possession. Huge turn of events there as the Layton Christian coach very upset as he thought he had gotten, and here comes another flag now as an official on that far side threw one. It had to have gone 30 feet in the air as he threw it high. Obviously not happy with what's being said over there, and it looks like he's trying to get some order with that sideline as many were out into the playing field. And I don't know if that's going to be a sideline warning or an unsportsmanlike conduct. One of the two. We'll see if they move him back 15 more or if it's just a sideline warning. We've seen that call several times this year where a flag flies, but it's just a warning to keep people off the sideline. It looks like that's what it'll be. South Summit maintains possession. The official saying it was a sideline warning. Ball is now bumped, but the back White Hat was not even ready as he's talking to his group as he's still notifying the fans that there was a sideline warning, and as he's doing it, the ball's in play. And now Layton Christian's running the ball all the way back to the South Summit end zone. They're claiming it was a backward pass that got deflected and was a fumble. Now they're wanting, and there's all kinds of chaos out here. So we'll try to get things figured out as these officials are trying to get things figured out as the head referee now comes out to the center of the field. He's saying dead ball, and he's saying sideline warning against Layton Christian, which basically sets up that if they have to tell him again, they'll call a penalty next time, and then it'll move some back. In essence, what he's saying is nothing played. I was still making a call. The ball shouldn't have been snapped, so everything's dead, and they'll start it again. 1st and 10, South Summit now at the 33-yard line. You could see he had a little discussion here with the ball man right at the line of scrimmage who basically allowed the play to go on with him still conducting business. So things a little helter-skelter here. 3:33 left in the second quarter. Been a very frustrating, confusing kind of a game thus far, kind of a sloppy, messy, choppy kind of a game. And if you're watching at home, you're probably getting that feeling. South Summit's made some nice plays, but the turnovers have just hampered what we're able to do as the defense has done a nice job. And offensively, they moved the ball well. Just got to keep a hold of that thing. 3:33 left. South Summit leading 7-3. And Jones now is going to hand off this time to, looks like Carson Freestone now into the ball game, getting a chance to run the ball. He's going to pick up 5 or 6 yards. The ball's going to go out to about the 26-yard line. So good running room by Freestone, and one of the big assets South Summit has is they're very deep and have a lot of people that can contribute in a lot of different ways. Freestone a little bit more of a shifty back, a little more of an elusive back than Averett, but Averett has a combination of that straightforward power and when out in the open field can put on the speed as well. So a lot of tools as Freestone will stay into the ball game as the deep running back. And bad snap from the center, and it hits the ground to Jones. Jones basically has to fall on it, and that'll bring up now third as he's going to lose 3 or 4 yards. The ball's going to go back to the 28-yard line where it's going to be 3rd and 5. So South Summit had a little stretch there on a drive or two where they moved the ball pretty well. But once again, these mistakes making it difficult to get much continuity, and it'll bring up 3rd and 5.
Third down and 5 for the Cats.
Out wide to the right is Miles. Wide to the left is McNair. In motion goes Keaton Gines. And flags flying again. Somebody jumped. Can't see if it was defensive or offensive. But another flag. And looks like they're going to move it against Layton Cristian. So offsides on Layton Cristian. 5-yard penalty. That'll give them an automatic first down as they had 5 to go. It's a 5-yard penalty. 1st and 10, South Summit. They'll move the chains. The ball now placed at the Layton Cristian 22-yard line. 1:48 left in the half. Just right amount of time for South Summit to put about 3-4 plays together and punch this thing in and try to get into double-digit scoring in this first half. South Summit only been held to less than 10 points one time in the first half. That was against Morgan. And once again, a flag onto the ground. Looked like movement. Whew. Sloppy game. Another penalty. Several penalties in a row. False start on South Summit. Now they'll move it back 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 back to the 28 now. So, 1st and 15, South Summit. McNair coming into the ball game. Thornton coming out. They'll wind this clock now as it continues to march down to 1:36 and counting. And a good way to end this half would be to score as this time starts running out. Jones is looking to pass. He's got a man. He's going deep. Got a defender, and nice coverage there by Layton Cristian as the intended receiver over there looks like Jordan McNair as he was battling the corner from Layton Cristian, and they were both jockeying a bit to go up for that ball. Neither able to come down with it. It'll bring up now 2nd and 15. Ball sitting at the 28-yard line. Stephen Flinders will bring the play in from the sideline as Bracken Santos will go out. South Summit has not attempted many passes. In fact, it may be, if I'm not mistaken, the first pass we've tried thus far. Haven't run a lot of offensive plays. And other than a few runs, this time they go up the middle. Good running room now. Right up the middle, and is that Freestone? Freestone picks up good yardage, and he's going to pick up the first down. He's going to get about 16, 20, 21 yards. Ball goes all the way down to the 7-yard line from the 28, and it's going to be 1st and goal, South Summit, inside the 10. South Summit's going to take a timeout, make sure they're on the same page offensively, as they have a chance now to get their 2nd touchdown of the ball game. We'll take one timeout. Minute 14 left, South Summit at the 6-yard line, 1st and goal. 1:14 left. South Summit up 7-3. First and goal at the 6-yard line. I think everybody on this green side of the field would feel a lot better if we could punch in, get another touchdown right here. As Jones now is going to keep, and he's got some room on the left side. He cuts it back, slips just a little. Had a lot of room out to that wide side of the field if he wanted to go there. Saw a little seam, he cut it back, slips. He'll pick up 2 or 3 yards. It'll be about at the 4 or 5 yard line, second and goal. And he, with 54 seconds left, he's going to spike the ball to stop the clock, which will bring up third down now. So third and goal, ball at the 5 yard line. South Summit's got to have plenty of confidence in running this ball, and I think they have many options that they can get the yardage. They can get on the same page here and execute their plays. They're tough to beat on this offensive side. They've got a lot of yardage running the ball. Freestone and Averett both getting good yardage. And they're going to go to Freestone, and Freestone's going to get into the end zone. Touchdown, Carson Freestone. So 5 yard run. South Summit puts up their second touchdown of the half. And really looks easy when they do it right. But just have had some trouble getting everything put together. And Santos now will try to make it 14-3. 10-point lead right now, as Santos has done a great job the last few weeks kicking the football on these extra points. Held there by Ty Jones. The kick is up, and it's good. Nice job there by Santos. It's a 14-3 lead as South Summit is able to put their second touchdown on the board, and will now kick off with 50 seconds left in this first half. Layton Cristian trailing by 11. They'll get one more chance to put some points on this board before the halftime ends. We have 50 seconds left in this first half. South Summit's Harley Georgie will kick off. Ball at the 40. He likes kicking to this south end zone. Seems to get a little more leg on it from a little less wind resistance. He kicks it up high and deep. It's going to be caught right at the 1 yard line, and they're stopping play. And it looks like we had South Summit men a little eager on the kickoff as they got ahead of Georgie kicking the football. They'll move it back 5 yards. It'll push it back to the 35, and they'll try it again. We'll test Georgie's leg on this one, see if he can kick it into the end zone with 5 more yards to do it. So Georgie now does the kickoff duties. Santos does the extra point field goal duties. Generally Victor Thornton doing the punting duties. Sometimes Jones does the rugby style. So once again, each facet of this team has many options. And so Georgie will get another chance. He probably relishes at a chance to show this leg off. Let's see what he gets in it. Nice deep kick. This one's deeper. It goes into the end zone. Georgie putting a big leg into the kickoff from the 35. It sails into the end zone. No return, as Layton Cristian now will have 50.3 seconds. See if they can't put something together offensively. Based on how things have gone, it wouldn't surprise me if they just said, let's go in trailing just by 11 and not get in any more trouble deep in our own end zone or our own territory. With just 50.3 seconds left, each team has had to burn a timeout or two, as each team only has 1 timeout left, as both teams have used 2. So not a lot of timeouts left, and we'll see what they choose to do with these 50 seconds. Jackson's going to go up under center. No motion this time, and Jackson's just going to kneel on the ball, and he's basically going to say, we've had enough of this chaos of this first half. And so we'll see if South Summit chooses to take their timeout. Really couldn't stop it if Layton Cristian tries to do it again. So really both teams content to just say, tough first half. Let's go talk about it, see if we can both come out with a little crisper, cleaner effort this second half. So we're at 27, 26 seconds. Stay tuned for the halftime as the drill team will be performing. We'll have the cheerleaders out there. So a lot of stuff that will keep us going here for this halftime, and that'll be the last play of this first half. South Summit goes in leading by 11, but my guess is it might not be one of your more pleasant talks in there at halftime, as they've had a rough first half, by far the worst first half of the season, and they'll try to figure a few things out. South Summit, good sign though, even on a horrible half, they still lead by 11. Sign of a good team. And so South Summit will get it put together. They'll put 12 minutes on the halftime clock, and we'll be back a couple of minutes left to discuss the half and get you set for 15 minutes. We'll get you set for the second half. South Summit leading 14-3, and we'll join you shortly. All right, there's 2 minutes on the clock. Welcome back to South Summit football as Layton Cristian and South Summit played a rough half. And if you're just joining us, probably one of the messiest halves we've seen in quite some time. Multiple turnovers, 5 lost fumbles by South Summit, and a couple they also put in addition to that on the ground and were able to recover. So a lot of stuff to talk about, I'm sure, during that halftime. And there's 1:40 left. We'll try to get you some scores and get you ready for the second half as South Summit leads 14-3. And some scores around the state in 2A. North Summit really taking advantage of American leadership tonight, leading 34-0 at halftime. And Millard and Gunnison all tied up at 7 at halftime. San Juan leading Enterprise 14-7. South Sevier getting doubled up by Parowan 24-12 at halftime. Well, that's a final. So those are the scores throughout 2A. And there's the crossover game. That is Grand leading or beat Summit Academy 7-6. So a tight game between Grand and Summit Academy, only losing Summit Academy by 1 point. So a lot of tight games throughout the state. And North Summit looks like they're playing very well, leading 34-0 against American leadership. So it'll set up for a good, fun inter-county matchup again next week, and it's always exciting. Hopefully you'll join us for that one, 7 o'clock right here at South Summit High School. And if you're feeling like staying at home and watching it, feel free to do that as well. Join us either way as we'll bring to you again another exciting game of South Summit, and hopefully a little cleaner effort as these South Summit Wildcats will hopefully have a nice, crisp, clean second half where they can put together a good few possessions offensively, extend this lead, and really this Layton Cristian really shouldn't be this close into the ball game, but that's what turnovers will do to you. They end drives very quickly, and Layton Cristian, give them credit, as they are as close as anyone's been against South Summit this year, excluding 3A and Morgan. So more of an exciting half at least, and certainly makes it a little more exciting to be able to announce some football when there's a little more competitive game going on, and hopefully we'll have a great half and be able to extend this lead and do more what South Summit does. We'll be returning the kickoff today, or in this second half. Keaton Gines and Isaac Tillett will be back deep this time, and South Summit will hopefully get some field position. Both quick, speedy guys. Hopefully can find a lane, and we'll get this series started in the right direction. Just 2 games left again in this region schedule after tonight. North Summit here next week, followed by at Millard over the fall break, and that'll be played on a Thursday night, I believe, in Millard. So 14-3 lead for South Summit, and Layton Cristian likes to come up and fake that onside kick as all of them bunch together and storm up to the ball at one time. And obviously if they're not kicking it at the onside kick, they all draw back, spread out, and go to the traditional kickoff. And Kenter kicks it high and deep. It'll be taken by Tillett at the 10-yard line. No, by Keaton Gines. And Keaton Gines now trying to find some room. Good return there by Gines. He's got a chance. He's going to be pushed out of bounds. He's across midfield all the way to the 41-yard line of Layton Cristian. As he fielded at the 10-yard line, he's going to get a 49-yard return, and he's going to put South Summit in business offensively. Keaton Job doing a great job returning that ball. Good blocking up front as he had a seam and wasn't touched until he was driven out of bounds. The ball is going to be right at the 42. 1st and 10, South Summit into Layton Cristian territory. And a little hold up here initially to get things going offensively. And we got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on South Summit. I didn't see what happened, but that's going to take away 15 yards of the South Summit return. So from the 42, the ball will get put back all the way to the South Summit now 43-yard line. So 15-yard penalty, and that'll drive an impressive return by Keaton Gines back into South Summit side of the field. Ty Jones will take over there. He's got Colby Avert back into the backfield. Had some good runs, but really put the ball on the ground too often. And Carson Freestone got some carries there towards the end of the first half. And Avert's back in there, and we'll try to get things going again. So Jones with Freestone in motion. They hand off to Averett. Averett's got good yardage, and he's going to bust tackles all the way back across where they were prior to the 15-yard penalty. He'll pick up even a couple more than that. They're across the 40 to the 39-yard line. So a 17-yard pickup, 18-yard pickup by Averett, and he's rolled up big yardage in this game, getting close to probably 150 yards. And they'll be 1st and 10. 11:36 left, third quarter. South leading by 11, 14-3. Pitch left to Freestone. Freestone's got a lot of room on that left side and tripped up. Great play by the corner out there for Layton Cristian as he was getting blocked, and he shrugged that blocker off as Freestone went by, tripped him up, ankled kind of a tackle, may have saved the touchdown. So a good play there by the Layton Cristian corner as Carson Freestone had a full steam ahead. Full head of steam, and he is able to get tripped up, but he to get their third touchdown of the ball game and could go up by 18 with the extra point. They got 4 downs to do it, 6 yards out, 1st and goal, South Summit. Jones, he's going to keep this time. He's got a pitch man, decides to keep it, hit hard there. Nice tackle by number 6 of Layton Cristian. And that is Grayson Jackson, the quarterback, makes a nice tackle. And he's going to pick up no yardage, where it's going to bring up now second. Is it second or third? Second down, 5 yards to go. 9:20 left as Hanson and Stephen Flinders coming in with the play. And out comes Santos. Going out wide to the right is Stephen Flinders. And Jones now gets the snap. Hands off to Averett. Averett spins in. Touchdown, Colby Averett. His second touchdown of the night. And good job by Colby protecting, spinning in. Touchdown, South Summit from 5 yards. And South Summit now will extend this lead to a 20-3 lead, awaiting the extra point by Bracken Santos. So good drive by South Summit as they march the ball 58 yards, all on the ground. And maintaining possession there. The extra point is up, and this one's blocked as a good pressure, good surge up the middle from Layton Cristian. They blocked the extra point. We haven't seen many of those this year. So they'll fail to convert the extra point. It's a 20-3 lead, 8:57 left, third quarter. South Summit scores on their first possession of the third quarter. Back to third quarter action at South Summit High School. South Summit leading 20-3 as Harley Georgie looks to kick off again. Drove it into the end zone from the 35. Just last time, this time a little short kick. Bounces, takes a South Summit bounce. Caught there by Layton Cristian. He's trying to find room on the right-hand side. Nice shoestring tackle out there by number 8, looks like, Matt Lee. Nice play there by Matt Lee. Good tackle in the open field, and the ball is going to be inside the 20 at the 18-yard line. So good coverage down there by the sophomore Matt Lee as he breaks free, trips up the Layton Cristian carrier, and it'll be 1st and 10 for the Eagles. Layton Cristian has had a few opportunities to move the ball and have done so occasionally offensively, but they've struggled a little bit on this South Summit defense, as most teams have done, trying to run the ball. Converted one long pass play. This time they'll try to go on a counter. This time a little running room. Good shiftingness there by the running back, number 27 for Layton Cristian. This time the ball carrier, his name is Marquise Gibson, and he's going to pick up about 5 or 6, where it'll bring up now 2nd and 4, but a flag is on the field. And we'll see what the flag is. And it looks like it's going to be against South Summit, as the South Summit defenders are turning and walking in the Layton Cristian favor. And it looks like it's a pretty substantial play. Let's see if we can get a final call on what it is. That was a 15-yard penalty. I didn't see what the call was. Personal foul, late hit. Face mask or something. He didn't really indicate what it was other than a personal foul. 15 yards against South Summit as Layton Cristian gets some good yardage, and now the toss right. And he's going to pick up 2 or 3 yards. It's going to go out to the 41, 42-yard line. He'll pick up a couple. It'll be 2nd and 8 as Layton Cristian trying to find room on those tosses outside, but too much pursuit on this quick defense by South Summit, as generally they have 5-6 defenders who make their way out to the outer sides of the field and do a good job of closing any gaps out there. So it'll bring up now 2nd and 8, 7:55 left in the third quarter. South Summit leading 20-3. Big receiver out here to the left-hand side. Got one-on-one coverage here with Quinn Zimmerman. Is no safety very deep. This time he trails back, handoff up the right, and he's hit right at the line of scrimmage by several South Summit defenders. And coming out with the ball into the pile, my guess is they blew it dead as he was stacked up and his progression had stopped. So it'll bring up now 3rd and 8. No gain on the play. And Bracken Santos will now check in and passing situation. And coming out will be number 25, Harley Georgie will check out. Caden Christensen will come in with Daxton Hansen checking out. So 3rd and 8, 7:06 and counting in this third quarter. South Summit, again, trying to maintain an undefeated record both in region play and in the overall record, as both teams come in here with a 3-0 record in the region play. Pass by Jackson, a little screen pass, and he's going to catch the ball right there on a little comebacker. He's right out to the 50-yard line. That's right close to the yard marker. We're looking right down it from midfield. And looks like they're going to give him the first down. So nice play there by Layton Cristian as they convert consecutive first downs on this drive. And now they've marched from their own 18, 32 yards out to the 50-yard line. Granted, 15 yards were a personal foul by South Summit, but Layton Cristian trying to put a drive together, and maybe most importantly for them, burning some time off this clock. It would be huge if they could march down, put a touchdown up for their hopes of staying in this ball game, as they're down by 17. 3 scores as Jackson now will go to that same play. A little comebacker on the right-hand side, again caught by a receiver. He's going to pick up 13 yards as now Jackson finding some receivers and delivering on the money. 13-yard pickup, first down, Layton Cristian into South Summit territory. So working that right side, right in front of the Layton Cristian sideline, and 2 consecutive 10, 12-yard passes on little comebackers that they are able to pick up 5-6 yards after the catch, and doing a nice job of running the ball following possession on the reception. So good job by Layton Cristian trying to hang on in this ball game against a good South Summit defense. Jackson, he's going to come to the counter. Ball's blown dead. Movement up front. There'll be a penalty on the play. Looked like the offense got a bit of an early start. So that'll probably drive back Layton Cristian 5 yards. And they'll start 1st and 15 now at the 42-yard line. On South Summit. My mistake. I thought Layton Cristian had jumped early. It's South Summit who gets the penalty, so they'll move him up 5 yards. So instead of 1st and 15, it'll be 1st and 5. So good break there for Layton Cristian as they continue to march further into South Summit territory now. Gotta like 1st and 5s. He's in the shotgun, finding some success, throwing the ball, as Jackson now is going to keep it on a little keeper, and he's hit just behind the line of scrimmage. Good defensive pressure there by those South Summit linebackers who came up. Hunter Angel, Colby Averett, couple of the first 2 there. It'll bring up 2nd and 5. All right. CJ Donano checking in. And coming out, Fees. And looks like Braden Crystal coming out as well. So, second and a long 5. 5:09 left, third quarter. South Summit continuing to lead 20-3. South Summit in their own territory trying to defend as there are 2 guys wide to the left. And Jackson up under center. Jackson will pitch left to the running back. He's got a few yards, and he's going to pick up the first down. Nice run there by Layton Cristian and putting together their best drive of the ball game as they are now inside the 20 or 26, 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10. Chains move again. That's the third, fourth first down of this drive. Layton Cristian got to be feeling pretty good about their chances here on this drive as they've moved the ball very well. And now are getting close to the red zone and desperately in need of a score as they'll probably just have 3-4 possessions left. Got to score on at least 3 of them as they trail by 17. Need 2 touchdowns and a field goal to tie this up. 3 touchdowns to take the lead. Jackson this time goes into the shotgun. Jackson's going to roll right. He's got receivers available. He goes off to the side, overthrows the intended receiver as he's hit right there by Thornton as he delivers the ball. And now Jackson unable to complete the pass. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. So Layton Cristian really working the right-hand side of that field. Jackson must like to throw to his right-hand side. Generally much easier for a right-handed quarterback to throw to his right, especially on rollouts. Pretty hard to roll out left, and you got to turn the body back to throw it right. So Jackson working the right-hand side, and this time the ball just off the left side of the field, close to the left hash mark, as Jackson up under center. Generally, they've run out of this formation, and looks like we're going to have a timeout. We'll take one as well as South Summit wants to talk over their defense. 4:19 left in this third quarter. South Summit continues to lead by 17, 20-3. All right, 4:19 in this third quarter. Layton Cristian putting the drive together. Jackson now going to pitch right. Nice block there as number 5 for Layton Cristian trying to find some running room as he got sprung loose on a bit of a crackback block. Sprung him loose to pick up 4 or 5. It's going to bring up 3rd and 6 as a big third down play now for Layton Cristian. They're getting close to the 20-yard line of South Summit. Ball's at about the 22, 23-yard line. So a huge third down opportunity for the Eagles if they want to stay in this ball game. Need to score on this possession. And South Summit obviously would like to prevent that from happening and turn that ball back over to the South Summit offense. So Jackson now will get a wide open set. He's got 3 to the left. He's got 1 comes in motion from the right. He's got a slot back. They're going to do a little bit of a reverse to number 5, and he's going to get hit right at the line of scrimmage. Good pressure there by a couple of defenders of South Summit. He's unable to get back to the line of scrimmage. Trying a little trickery as they go to the reverse toss, and it's going to bring up now 4th and 7. So good job there by South Summit. As Layton Cristian's got a decision to make. Do they try and get the field goal now as they need a field goal? But this is a long field goal attempt. The ball is sitting at the 24-yard line, and you add 10 yards of end zone and 7 yards of place kickman. That's about 17. That's about a 41-yard field goal. Ball's blocked. It's fumbled down. He picks it up, and he's going to get drugged down ball is still loose, regardless of whether it's a fumble or not. South Summit's going to take over. Good pressure up the middle. South Summit blocks the field goal attempt, and the ball bounces back several yards behind the kicker all the way back to the 43-yard line. So good job, South Summit, stiffening up there on 3rd and 4th down, and they'll get the ball on the blocked field goal, and they'll take over possession at the 43-yard line right on the left hash. So good job there, South Summit. Bending a little on that series, but not breaking, and they hold tough. South Summit will take over now with 2:36 in their own territory, and now really can go into run and ball control and burn clock and see if they can't shorten this game out, finish it off. An ugly game, but still a lot of potential here to be a very successful game. See if Jones can put together a good drive, and he goes right up the middle behind Averett, and Jones will pick up 3 or 4. Nice tackle there by Layton Cristian. Hold him to about a short 3-yard gain. Ball's across the 45 to the 46-yard line. So chose to just run right behind the big running back Averett. Cleared him a couple yards, but from behind got tripped up, so it'll bring up now 2nd and 7. So Jones has Tillett this time in motion. And he's going to keep and gets driven all the way back, clear back, 6-7 yards as he tried to get out wide left after the fake handoff. There was no room, and he's driven back. They'll give him forward progress at about the 42-yard line, but they had driven him back all the way to about the 37, 38-yard line. So big 3rd down play, 3rd and 11 for South Summit as Santos and McNair come in, and coming off for South Summit will be Ethan Miles. So we'll see if South Summit tries to throw the ball on this play or if they take the safe route and keep the ball on the ground. Coming out wide to the right is Santos. Now he'll go to the inside receiver, and in the slot is number 5, Christensen. Jones in some trouble. He's trying to find a receiver. He goes to the left side. Ball's broken up there by the Layton Cristian corner, and McNair looks like he was the intended receiver. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down and 11. The punting unit for South Summit comes out on the field. So good job, Layton Cristian, in holding South Summit to no 1st down right there. And so it'll be a punting situation for the Wildcats. And Victor Thornton is standing at about the 28-yard line. See if he can't get a good high punt into the air. And he gets the, almost blocked, but a nice kick by Thornton. He calls for a fair catch. Layton Cristian comes up, catches the ball at the 28-yard line, 27-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Eagles. Good job there by the Layton Cristian punt returner, saving 15, 20 yards of field possession by coming up, fair catching that thing, and maintaining the ball up across the 25 to the 26-yard line. Like to see that as a coaching staff, where your punt return guy allows that ball to be caught and not bounce deep into their own territory. So 1st and 10, South Summit. Jackson will go under center this time. And he sends a man in motion from his right-hand side. They fake handoff, come back on a counter up the middle, no room, as the play almost got held up like they heard whistles or something, as people kind of stood up there and really didn't finish the play off. So nice defensive stop there by South Summit. They pick up no yardage. It'll bring up 2nd and 10. 50 seconds left in this 3rd quarter. And if they keep it on the ground, may get 1 or 2 plays left in this quarter, depending on what they choose to do with the ball here. This time Jackson goes into the shotgun. He's got nobody to his left. Trips to his right. And Jackson's trying to throw to his right. He's getting pressure from behind. He's trying to deliver off to a left out route, and ball is incomplete. It'll stop the clock with 29 seconds left, and it'll bring up 3rd and 10. Lots of open field on this left-hand side out of that formation, and surprising that Layton Cristian has not brought somebody from that right side up underneath, because there is a lot of room if he'd look right for a minute and come back to a guy sailing left. See if they're maybe trying to set that up. South Summit needs to be aware of that. As Quinn Zimmerman now, the right corner, once again go to the same formation, trips wide to the right, nobody to the left, and Jackson now is going to set up a little screen pass. Ball's knocked up in the air. It's intercepted Oh, he's unable to control it. Looked like from here he had tipped it up in the air. Ball sailed up 3-4 feet above his head. I'm unable to see who the number was. Looked like he had caught the ball, but as he went down, it comes loose. And unfortunately, South Summit still makes a nice play, but unable to get the interception, which would have given him the ball right there at the 28-yard line. It'll give Layton Cristian the chance to punt it. And McNair and Keaton Gines back for South Summit. They're standing at their own 40. And Kenter for Layton Cristian is at his own 12, awaiting the snap. Good snap, and he'll get the punt. A little bit lower punt this time, and it's going to take a big, big Layton Cristian bounce, and it goes all the way up to the 28-yard line. And so South Summit unable to catch that ball in the air. It takes about a 15-yard bounce. It'll go inside the 30, where South Summit will take over. They're still leading 20-3. We'll keep it right here, as there'll be just probably one play left in this third quarter. And we'll then take a break to start this fourth quarter. Again, a much closer game than most would have anticipated, as give Layton Cristian credit, as they fought hard here on the road against the number 1 ranked South Summit Wildcats. As Ty Jones now is going to keep it. He'll go up the center following Colby Averett. He'll pick up 3 yards. That's going to finish this third quarter. Good hard-fought third quarter as South Summit scores 1 touchdown, missed the extra point. They're up by 17, 20-3. We'll take a break, switch ends of the field, and have the last quarter of action as South Summit leads by 17. All right, Jones now, hands off, and Averett's got good running room on this first play. He's across the 40 down to the 35, 34-yard line. So a nice 35-yard pickup for South Summit, as Averett having a big yardage game on the ground as he's across midfield into Layton Cristian territory. Good running room. He's right at the 35-yard line, so a nice play there by South Summit to start this fourth quarter as they move the chains with 11:50 left in this third quarter. South Summit leading 20-3. And now Ty Jones has this South Summit offense rolling again. Keaton Gines goes in motion. They come back on a counter. Carson Freestone trying to find running room, and he's drugged down. Good stop there by Layton Cristian, interior lineman, as they held their spot. Waited for Carson to come back on the counter, and they drag him down for about a 2-yard pickup. It'll bring up 2nd and 8. So South Summit trying to burn some clock in this fourth quarter. There's going to be a timeout on the field. We'll try to cover a few scores for you in this timeout. So Layton Cristian trying to think this over defensively. Just to review a few scores from the 2A football plays or games around the state. North Summit continuing to lead at the beginning of the fourth quarter over American Leadership, 34-0. Millard now up by 10 on Gunnison, 17-7, with 11:45 left in the fourth quarter. Beaver, big lead over North Sevier, 27-0 at the beginning of the third quarter. San Juan up 21-7 on Enterprise at the start of the fourth quarter. As we mentioned earlier, Parowan beats South Sevier 24-12. A few other games of note of local teams. Morgan beats Union is beating Union 40-13. Manti might be of interest to you, beating Richfield 28-21. Park City beating Ben Lomond 33-0.
So second and 7 for the
And a big game in Salt Lake tonight of top 3 teams. Bingham is beating Brighton 31-14. Jones back, gets the play. He's trying to fire up there, and there's going to be a penalty. As Jones now was under pressure on the snap, trying to find McNair across the middle on a post route. And Jones gets hit just as he delivered it. He threw the ball a little behind McNair as McNair tried to slow up to get the ball in the corner. Didn't slow up, runs into the back of McNair. McNair gets the penalty. It'll be a passing interference penalty. That'll move the ball up 15 yards. So good play there by South Summit as they get the break on the defensive pass interference. So that'll move the ball inside the 20-yard line into the 17. It'll be 1st and 10, South Summit. 11:20 left in this fourth quarter. And South Summit now threatening to put this game away. One more touchdown would probably do it. As Jones now with Keaton Gines. They pitch right, and he's got some room. Keaton Gines cuts it back. Nice tackle as the flag comes flying in. And that's tough room there for South Summit. As that'll probably march him back here a little bit. We'll wait to make sure. But in a bad territory for the Wildcats when that umpire right there in the mix of it all sees something he doesn't like, and it's an offensive holding on South Summit. That's a spot foul from where the holding took place, and that's behind the line of scrimmage, so it's going to end up being about a 12, 13-yard penalty. It's going to move the ball all the way out to the 29-yard line. The first down is at about the 7-yard line, so we're looking at about first down and 22 yards to go. So tough break for South Summit as they're just getting close to inside the red zone. So going to have to use some magic here to get back into this first down territory. Long ways to go as Giants. They come back on a counter again to Freestone, it looks like. Freestone's going to get about 5 or 6 of it back. The ball's now up to about the 23-yard line as they've gone to that counter to Freestone several times, and he picks up decent yardage. Going to have to get about 7 or 8 each play to get back into where they want to get the first down. So the ball's on the left hash at the 23-yard line. 10:32 still left in this ball game. Out wide to the right goes Stephen Flinders. Out wide to the left is McNair. And Jones surveying, sends Keaton in motion. He fakes the pitch, goes up underneath to Averett. And Averett's going to pick up 3 or 4 more. He's inside the 20 again, about to where the markers were set up initially. So it's going to be about 3rd and 10, maybe a little more than 10, close to 11. And South Summit now, big 3rd down. As Bracken Santos brings in the play from Coach Parker. Like to see them convert on this 3rd down. Last time went in the air with 3rd and long. We'll see what they do on this play. This time a tight formation. Nobody out wide. As the wideouts are inside, slot man goes to the white. Now Keaton Gines goes out right. Jones rolling right, trying to find a man. He's going to pull it under and try to run. And he's got some little room, but it's closed quickly as Layton Cristian now pursues him very well, contains Jones from getting out to that corner. And Jones now will get tackled. Going to lose a yard. It's going to bring up 4th and 13. He comes hobbling off a little bit. And hopefully Ty Jones will be okay. And that's going to bring out Santos to try the field goal. Ball is sitting at the 20-yard line. It'll bring up a 37-yard field goal. So we'll see how Bracken Santos does on this long field goal as number 55, Brad Richens, hustles in back into the formation to block. This would be a very valuable asset. As you know, last year, Manti won the 2A state championship on a long field goal. Valuable weapon to have. Let's see how Santos does. The snap's good. Ball is down, doesn't have enough leg. It's going to fall short, no good. As Santos unable to get all of that kick, and it'll fall short. That'll turn the ball over to Layton Cristian. And Layton Cristian now keeps themselves in the ball game. 8:41 left in this fourth quarter. They're going to have to score quickly, though, and rely probably on that onside kick formation they go to. If there's any way they can score some points here, they're going to have to do it quick. They're going to have to get the ball back quickly as well. So South Summit continues to lead by 17. 20-3. Jackson continues to quarterback for Layton Cristian up under center this time. Nobody out wide to the right, all three to the left this time. He pitches left. And has some running room. He picks up 11 or 12. Good run there by number 5. And that is Jack Chandler, the ball carrier. He picks up about 11. He'll move the chains. First down, Layton Cristian. Ball now at the 31-yard line. So, Layton Cristian still holding out hope. They can spring a couple of big plays. And like I said, they've got to score 3 times. Need 3 possessions. And in this kind of a running style offense South Summit puts up, they're going to have to get some breaks here. South Summit has done a much better job in this second half of maintaining possession of the ball and preventing turnovers. Okay, fumbles have been much better, and they come back on the counter, trying to find some room, and hit there by Colby Averett as Averett comes from that linebacker spot and nails that running back. He'll pick up about a yard, maybe a little less. I guess it was Fees there, not Averett. So Fees there on the nice play. It'll bring up now second and a short 10, long 9. 7:39 and counting. Layton Cristian cannot afford to burn 30, 40 seconds of play as they're doing right here. Going to have to start throwing the ball, at least on an incomplete pass. The clock would stop. On these short runs, it's just burning time, and Jackson still taking a lot of time at the line of scrimmage. He's going to toss left. Flags come flying. Might have even been delay. That took a long time to get that play off. That's what the back judge is calling, as he's the man in charge of counting. And it looks like it's going to be a delay of game. Last thing Layton Cristian wants to do, down 3 scores with the clock running. They'll move it back 5 yards. It'll bring up second and 15. Ball's at the 26-yard line. So South Summit, not their best effort tonight, but still grinding it out and working hard. And okay, in an undefeated season especially, to occasionally have some challenges, this has been a good one for them to work on. Jackson floats one up, and it gains everybody on the throw as Stephen Flinders was back there defending for South Summit, the intended receiver. Number 23 for Layton Cristian, and they have no number on there for number 23. So it'll bring up now 3rd and 15. Clock stops at 7:11 left in this ball game, and now another late penalty. We're unable to see a 15-yard penalty by South Summit roughing the passer. That's an automatic first down. That'll move the ball out to the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Layton Cristian. So a big costly penalty there by South Summit. A little too anxious and aggressive and hitting that quarterback after he releases the ball. So 1st and 10 for the Eagles. South Summit got Stephen Flinders back deep, about 15 yards from the line of scrimmage, trying to prevent a deep pass play by Layton Cristian. Here comes the reverse again, and Chandler trying to find room, and he's unable to get free of the pursuing defender there of South Summit. Looks like it's Averett this time, number 32. As he followed the counterman on the reverse, they pick up the play. He'll pick up a couple of yards, but it's going to bring up 2nd and 8. Clock moving now at 6:47 left in this ball game. Layton Cristian has got to hustle a little more, unless they're content just to say we're not going to lose by any more than 17, because they're taking a lot of time when they need to be hustling. As Jackson now, he will send a man in motion, and they'll come to a counter, and it's met again by several South Summit defenders, and Layton Cristian going in the wrong direction and burning too much time. 6:14 left. Loses 5 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd and 15. So the ball goes all the way back to the 38-yard line. South Summit doing a great job on these misdirection plays of not over-pursuing, staying in their positions and waiting for anything that comes misdirection. And South Summit has really handled those those reverses and counters very well. This time trips to the right. Now the ball's fumbled. It's on the ground. Jackson's going to get swarmed over as he basically couldn't do anything as that ball was fumbling around on the ground on the bad snap. Jackson gets hit hard. He'll be brought down. He looks to be shaken up a little bit. He's tackled right at the 30-yard line. And Jackson now is going to have to come out of this ball game as they take an injury timeout. It's a 4th down. And it's a punting situation for Layton Cristian, and any time that there's an injured player that requires the clock to stop, he's got to sit out a play. Jackson's going to go out, and Kenter, the punter, will come in with 5:25 left, and they'll wind that clock with 5:22 and counting, and South Summit now will await the punt. McNair and Gines back for the Wildcats. Snap is good. Kick is up. And the ball is fumbled on the punt. It's going to, it looks like, sail out of bounds. So fumbled, punt return. Luckily it takes a good bounce, and it sails out of bounds. It'll be South Summit maintaining possession, but again, scary on the punt return as he tried coming up to call the fair catch, unable to get control of the ball, and it bounces out of bounds. South Summit will get possession at the 31-yard line. 5:04 left. Like to see a nice little drive to burn this clock out, march the ball down the field. Averett now will pick up 3 or 4, good hard yardage up the middle, and that's really all they need to do is pick up 3 or 4 yards of carry, burn this clock. Layton Cristian's already burned 1 timeout, but with 3 scores to be had to get back in this ball game, it's looking tough, and it looks like South Summit will win another one. It's not pretty, and it hasn't been what they wanted, but an ugly win is a heck of a lot better than a pretty loss, and they'll take it as Ty Jones now will hand off to Averett again. This time he sneaks out for maybe a yard, not much there. It'll bring up 3rd and about 6. So realizing that South Summit's running here, Layton Cristian really stacking the line of scrimmage in trying to prevent South Summit from gaining a 1st down and keeping this clock running and try to get one more chance at their offensive series. Just getting to the 4-minute mark. South Summit has led this entire quarter by 17. Not much scoring in this second half. 1 touchdown by South Summit as Dacton Hansen hustles off, and they're going to get a penalty of breaking the huddle with 12 people. And that looks like it'll drive South Summit back a few. Coach Parker trying to get a timeout before it happened, but I don't think they're going to give him a timeout anyway. We'll take one. South Summit leads 20-13 with 3:52 left in the ball game. So the officials are going to give Coach Parker the timeout before the penalty happens. So it's still 3rd and 6. And Jones tries to throw a little short pass out to Caden Christensen. It falls incomplete as Jones was being drugged down as he was trying to deliver that ball. And so it stopped the clock at 3:44 left. It'll bring up 4th down, and the South Summit punting unit will come out. Not the drive that South Summit wanted there, as they not only stopped the clock but are going to have to punt. Unable to get a 1st down, so give credit to Layton Cristian holding South Summit on a possession. And South Summit has only had to punt 1 other time, I believe. It may have been 2, as turnovers and the scoring has generally, and now another penalty comes flying in. I wish I had a count of how many penalties between the combined turnovers and the combined penalties. It has not been a pretty game for either side, as South Summit has not been able to function as well as we've seen them do offensively throughout the season. So 5-yard penalty on South Summit, and that'll move them back, and Thornton will now kick it from, it looks like he's standing at about the 15-yard line. Thornton doing a good job punting for South Summit. Generally gets some nice high punts. Very high one on this one. Not a lot of distance, but good air, and the ball bounces right at midfield. It takes a 2 or 3 4-yard roll for South Summit. It'll roll down to the 44-yard line where Layton Cristian will get another offensive chance, put some more points on the board. A lot to ask of a team to get 3 scores with 3:35 left. Stranger things have happened, but South Summit will be in a bit of a prevent mode. They'll be having some safeties back, and Layton Cristian will have to execute very well to get some more points on the board. South Summit again looking to go 7-0 on the season and 4-0 in region play with 2 more games to go against North Summit and Millard. And would love to get a nice playoff game right here at home in about 4 weeks, about a month from now, November 2nd it would be, as Jackson now is going to get hit as he throws. It's picked off by Carson Freestone. Freestone gets the interception, and that should close the books on this ball game as Freestone, the recipient of nice pressure on the Layton Cristian quarterback as he was hit as he threw, and it disrupted his throwing motion. The ball fell well short right into the arms of Freestone. Freestone gathers it in, and he picks up 4 or 5 on the return. That'll turn the ball back over to South Summit. And now South Summit with 3:25 left probably only needs about 1 first down to close this game out. Much quicker game tonight. Not quite as many extra points. A few penalties, obviously, but much quicker game than we've had in the past. This time Jones is going to keep. He breaks the tackle. He's got room, and he's going to go all the way. Ty Jones. Great blocking downfield, and Ty Jones will go for 38 yards as he broke it outside, and there was nobody there from Layton Cristian to contain him as they got sucked in. Good blocking, contained outside, and Ty Jones will go for a 38-yard scamper and will score, extending this lead to a 26-3 lead for South Summit, with Santos now awaiting the extra point. So a nice run there by Jones, and a good exclamation point on this ball game. What's been a challenging ball game offensively for South Summit. Nice to see a good play put together right there as Santos. Nice kick up and high, and it's good. So with 3:18 left in the ball game, South Summit extends the lead to 27-3, and we'll take a break. .318 left in the ball game. Ty Jones goes 38 yards to extend this to a 24-point lead, and Georgie will kick off for the Wildcats. Nice, deep, high kick. It's going to be caught right at the 2-yard line, and Layton Cristian will bring it out from there, and he's going to get hit right at the 20. He'll fall forward to the 21-yard line, and with 3:12 left, Layton Cristian will take over, trailing by 24. And South Summit, again, on the defensive side, will get a chance to throw a few other guys in, give them a little time on this drive as they mix in a few different linemen. And Layton Cristian now will decide if they want to try to go for some more points or be content to say not much we're going to do, down 24 with 3 minutes left. So we'll see what their intent is here as Jackson is up under center.
Inside backer looks to be Christensen. And
Jackson taking his time here, tosses left and cut back from Chandler. Chandler's going to pick up 2 or 3, and he'll get tripped up by several South Summit defenders, and it'll bring up second and about 7. So looking ahead, for those of you who aren't aware, the quarterfinal game will be played at a home site, and with this win, and hopefully a win in the next 2 weeks, South Summit will wrap up the region championship and will host a home game in that quarterfinal round, and that'll be somewhere on the weekend of November 2nd. November 1st, 2nd, then a little reverse here by Layton Cristian, is hit hard right at the line of scrimmage, and he will, looks like the ball may have been loose. Nope, and Layton Cristian will maintain possession. So a quarterfinal matchup at home around the weekend of November 1st, 2nd. Following that, the semifinals will be down at SUU on November 9th, 10th area. And then, providing things go well, the state championship game would be nice to be in. This year will be at Weber State University. Be a great venue to be able to play for a state championship, so hopefully we'll be there in about 5-6 weeks. So that's kind of the schedule ahead of us. North Summit next week, Millard the following week, a week off, and head to the playoffs as Jackson throws deep and out of bounds. The intended receiver looks like he fell down, and he looks like he's shaken up a little bit over there as well. And a flag looks like it is on the ground, so I don't know if he got hit on his route or what happened. But 1:46 left in the ball game. So we'll see what the penalty is. Hate to see penalties this late in the game. Both teams, I'm sure, are ready to say this one's over, especially on a cool night. So it looks like a defensive holding on South Summit. So that'll give South Summit, or Layton Cristian, a first down. They'll move the ball. Wow, big penalty. I'm not sure what that was. They moved the ball all the way out to the 51-yard line. I'm not sure what that call was. I thought he called defensive holding, but I know defensive holding is not a 20-something-yard penalty. I'm not sure what went on there, but at any rate, the ball is into South Summit territory at the 49-yard line of South Summit. 1st and 10 for Layton Cristian on the penalty. And it even looks like the coaches are going, what was that? Just across midfield, 1:46 left. Jackson in the shotgun. Jackson now, ball's held up. And Layton Cristian coaches want a timeout. We'll take one more timeout. 27-3 lead, South Summit with 1:46 left. All right, 1st and 10 for the Eagles. 1:46 left in the ball game. In the shotgun after a big penalty on South Summit. Gives Layton Cristian one more chance to score as Jackson now under some pressure. He's going to get hit hard. Ball's loose. It's on the ground. And South Summit's going to come down with the ball as Jackson was hit hard, and he's in some pain. And hate to see that this late in the ball game when really nothing of consequence is going to happen in this last 137. And you could see it coming. He was unable to see the Wildcat defender coming hard, and he gets hit without seeing it coming, and he's down and he's hurt. And hopefully he'll be okay. As tough one to take there, and certainly if you're Layton Cristian, that's not what you want to see at the end of a ball game. That really is not going to change the results. And hopefully he just had the wind knocked out of him possibly, and he's having a hard time finding some air, and it's not a damaging kind of an injury. Jackson has been hit hard multiple times. He's been banged up a little bit, but he's continued to fight on, and evidence of that in this last drive, still trying to get some more points on the board. He looks like he may be trying to get up, so that's a good sign. As Jackson, good job of getting off, and hopefully he's going to be okay. So 1:37 left in the ball game. South Summit, looks like South Summit was unable to get the fumble before it went out of bounds, so it's going to stay with Layton Cristian. South Summit had the possession on the fumble, but unable to keep it in bounds. So Layton Cristian now with a new quarterback into the ball game as Jackson goes out on the big hit. And we'll see what they choose to do here. Second and about 24, 25 yards. And in the shotgun, new quarterback. Can't see his number yet. He's just going to run. It's number 7 for Layton Cristian. He spins around for some yardage. His name is Ian Burton, the new quarterback. And he picks up a few yards out to the 38-yard line. And the clock continues to run with 1:17 left in the ball game. So Burton finishing up the ball game for Layton Cristian. He's a big kid as well. Nice, good-looking quarterback also. Number 7 coming in as Layton Cristian trying to run this clock out with 58 seconds left. And Burton's going to run left this time, trying to find some room. And he's going to get tackled right at the 40-yard line. He's going to pick up only about a yard. And so as this ball gets set, we'll see if they have to run one more play or not. It's 4th down. And it looks like there's a timeout called by Layton Cristian. 43 seconds left in the ball game.
43 seconds to go.
Well, a lot of things going on at South Summit Athletics throughout the week. Volleyball's having a great year thus far. Undefeated in their region play, having played each team once. And they're doing a great job. The soccer team's having a good, successful season. Despite a few injuries, they've done well and have had a nice improvement from last year. Cross-country team's been doing well. Golf team's done a great job finishing in 2nd place. Their state tournament's coming up this week down at Palisade State Park, and they hope to have a good time this week at the state golf tournament. So as the seasons start winding down, South Summit doing a great job in multiple events and activities in the sporting side of these things. So hopefully their seasons will end well and try to follow and attend their games also. 43 seconds left. Burton will run it up the center, and he'll be tackled right at the 40-yard line, and that will turn the possession over. So South Summit will have to snap it one time before this game's going to end. So South Summit's going to move out to 4-0 on the region, and Layton Cristian will fall to 3-1. North Summit's going to move up into a 2nd place tie with Layton Cristian. They're going to beat American Leadership 34-14. Millard ends up beating Gunnison 23-13. So Layton Cristian and North Summit now will be tied for 2nd place at 3-1. South Summit will continue to lead the region at 4-0, and we'll move into next week's game, what looks like to be a good game next week between 3-1 North Summit, 4-0 South Summit in the region. So join us next week, 7 o'clock right here at Wildcat Stadium, or at home if you wish. And we'll take on North Summit Braves, the visiting North Summit Braves right here at our high school. So thanks for joining us tonight. An ugly game, but a win nonetheless. So congratulations to the South Summit football team and a good hard-fought game by Layton Cristian. And we hope that those who have been hurt aren't too badly hurt and their season continues to go well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. Thanks to all those who have helped. Brennan Gee, Jeff Greiner, and the many students have put together this broadcast tonight. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned next week.